Hello, Painting with a Purpose friends. I've got a cute little Halloween painting that we're going to do today. The colors you're going to need are this light brown, it's like a tan, regular brown, black, white, yellow, and orange. You're going to need your big 2-inch brush, a smaller flat brush, and then 2 different sizes of round brushes. Both are small, not very big. And also a pencil. This will have writing on it, so it's best to either use a pencil or a piece of chalk to do your writing first and then come back and paint it. You will also need your cloth and a cup of water. All right, to get started, we're going to use our 2-inch brush and that light tan paint. And we're just gonna cover the whole canvas with that tan color. Your background finished. We are finished with the 2-inch brush, and we're going to let this get good and dry. Now that our background is dry, you're going to take your smaller flat brush and we're going to do our pumpkin. So get orange on it, and you want your pumpkin to pretty much fill this bottom space. We're going to write words up here, so you want to make sure, and we're going to put a bird, so you want to make sure that you have enough space for your bird and words. So my pumpkin is going to set less than halfway, and he's going to go almost all the way to the edges. Just like so. Go ahead and rinse the orange off. We just drew, we're not going to fill in yet. Now with your yellow, we're going to do his eyes and his nose. He's going to be a jack-o'-lantern. And I'm going to do this with my small round brush, I think. Now that we have him drawn with our round brush, you can go back in and fill in with your flat brush. While that is drying, we're going to go ahead, rinse the yellow off, and fill in our pumpkin. Be careful around his eyes and mouth and nose. Okay, now that we have our pumpkin filled in, don't wipe off your brush. You're just going to come in with that darker brown that you have, and just the tip of your brush, and we're going to come in and we're going to outline the out edge. That darker brown. Then we're going to come in and give him some pumpkin lines. Making our pumpkin lines with your brown. All right, I'm going to come back in with my orange. This is a little dark. All right, rinse the orange off. We're gonna make sure it's good and clean. We're gonna go back over our yellow. Okay, rinse that brush, set it aside. Get your medium-sized round brush, and we're going to give him a little stem. With your light brown, that tan, come back in here and add some dimension. We're also gonna, with that light brown, add some light brown to our pumpkin. It's gonna be like little highlights. All right, with that same brush and your darker brown, well, let's let our pumpkin face dry and then we'll come back to him. Okay, now that our pumpkin is dry, let's add some dimension and some depth in his eyes. So with your medium round brush and your brown paint, I'm just gonna come along these edges, right inside the yellow. Now, with your very small round brush and your brown, we're gonna do the other edges. So we want that one side to be wider than the other two sides. There is our cute little jack-o'-lantern. Rinse those round brushes off. You can leave them in your water. We'll get them in a minute. Go ahead and grab your smaller flat brush. And we're gonna do an edge around our canvas with our black. And it's gonna be like a width and a half of our brush. So you're just gonna run this all the way down. There is our back edge. Now, set that brush aside. We're gonna do our words. You have pretty much this much space. We're gonna do a little bird up here. We want our bottom word to be the biggest. So we're gonna say, come in for a spell. So I'm gonna leave space for my bird. He's gonna be a small bird. is our writing. I'll pull it, my black is still wet, so I'll pull it closer. You can see come in for a spell, and you're just gonna use your medium and small round, both of them, depending on how big you want your letters. So for come in, the words come in, I'm probably going to use my medium round brush. For those words, I'm going to use my smaller round brush. And then spell, I'm definitely going to use my bigger round brush, my medium. All right. All right, so our wording is all finished. Now we're going to do our bird. Okay, so we're gonna sketch out the bird. I think that would be best, and I've kind of already started. Just be careful, your lettering is still wet as to where you put your hands, but he's got a long, he's like a crow, so he's got this long beak, and then it comes up to his head, and the back of his head's kind of turned around, and then you've got his underbelly. So you want the O to kind of be where his head starts, and then his underbelly is going to swoop down across the M, and it's going to stop at the M, or at the E, I'm sorry. So his underbelly is going to scoop down by the M, and it's going to stop at the E. That's where his little legs are. And then the back of him is gonna just scoop on down and kind of towards the eye. And that's really all we need, is just that part of him. And then you're gonna use your small round brush and fill him in all black. I kind of got my hand into the black paint a little bit. Once that dries, we'll cover it up with a tan and we will be fine. And let's put his little legs on here. And he's kind of sitting right on top of that letter E. And then with the back of your paintbrush and white paint, go ahead and give him a little white eye right there. And we've got one last thing to do with your smaller flat brush and the white paint. So make sure all the black is rinsed out of your brush. With your white paint, we're gonna add some polka dots here. With your really small round brush, we're going to add some smaller dots. There's a great Halloween painting. Can't wait to see what you create.